Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of our Stories of Transformation series. My name is Katie Rona. I'm the executive director of our ministry called Communities of Transformation. And today I'll be interviewing one of our Awaken facilitators, Amy Messer. Welcome, Amy. Well, Amy, we're so excited to have you here with us. Can you just start us off with telling us a little bit about yourself and how you first got connected to COT?
Got connected to COT Mobile by accident. I was part of a Bible study at a United Methodist church in the area. I go to a Baptist church, but the Bible study was at a United Methodist church, and I was there, and they asked our small group to serve dinner at something called COT. So I said, I can make a casserole. Great. So I signed up to participate in that. I brought the food and stayed for the program, and I was blown away at the mission of COT, the community I felt, the family aspect of it. And I decided that God had led me to COT through that casserole preparation.
So after a couple months with our ministry, you changed roles as a volunteer and became one of the Awaken facilitators. Can you describe that classroom experience and just Awaken in general?
So when I was asked to co-facilitate Awaken, I was a little nervous, but also I felt like COT offered something different. It was something that I had never heard about before through Awaken. Awaken is a curriculum that focuses on our strengths, on our God-given gifts and abilities, instead of going from a place of what am I bad at? What do I need help with? We start with positivity. We start with that capital that has been gifted to us. And so I'm encouraged to share that message and to watch people come into a classroom atmosphere where they may have had not so great of an experience and be hit with, okay, we're starting out positive. Let's look at what is great about us. So that's something really new for a lot of people. And it kind of takes people aback and it makes you really think about the giftings that God's given us. And so we start there and then we work toward how can I use the gifts that I've been given to assist others, to help grow them, and also learn to ask for help in the things that we do need help with.
So I love how you talk about this new experience and how we're changing what a classroom and this community looks like to one another as we start over and we refresh and we restart. As you've done 2 or 3 classes so far, what has been one of your favorite moments in the classroom or just that you found the most rewarding?
I think one of the biggest things that I get to experience is when people decide that this is a safe place for them to open up. We'll have people come in who have really been wounded or hurt or feel so low and feel so bad about themselves. And they come in with other people that they don't know. So everybody kind of has a wall up, a guard up. And as the weeks pass, their stories get a little bit longer or a little bit deeper, or they initiate a conversation, or they have a comment about somebody else. So to watch that unfolding and the intentional taking down of the bricks that they've built up to share life with other people. And I think that's an opportunity that we don't get very often, to sit with the same people week after week and hear stories and share successes and failures and joy and sadness, and to really tap into the relationships that are built when we decide that it's safe to be vulnerable.
I love this, the tearing down the walls, right? That we really look at who we are and really creating authentic relationships within a community, right? And I love how every class then becomes part, and the community changes a little bit as the personalities and the identities of every Awaken class blend and we become stronger together. So our Awaken class happens twice a year, 10 weeks long. But throughout the year, yourself and other facilitators and the members of our class are part of our larger community, and we're involved in programming or activities. Is there a community moment that you can think of that's just a favorite memory of yours?
One of my favorite memories is when we had a self-defense class. We had someone come in and teach self-defense. At that time, our community was mostly women, and a lot of women who lived alone and had expressed that they didn't feel as comfortable taking care of their physical safety alone. And so we had a martial arts group come in and we practiced moves on one another. We had mats on the floor. We did different holds. And it was a lot of fun, but also really informative and really empowering to watch the people who, some were standoffish, but others were on the mat and they were having a great time and they were really taking it seriously. And it's something I'll never forget, watching these women who from age probably 15 to in their 70s learn and feel empowered by that new skill that they had learned.
You mentioned that the self-defense class came out of an express need or want from the community. And I love that you hit something that's so special about COT is that our program is driven by the needs of the current participants and the families that are going through it with us. And so I love that you hit on a huge part of what we do, and that makes us unique as we go forward. And as you talked about being empowered, each of us are growing and learning together. Can you share about how you feel like you've grown overall or just been impacted by being a part of COT?
I think one of the beautiful things about COT personally for me is that when I found COT, I was a young mom. I had 2 children under 5 years old, and I felt like I had been in mom mode for so long, being at my home, taking care of my family, that I missed a larger community, number one, but I also missed the opportunity to volunteer with something. So COT gave me this wonderful opportunity to be part of a community, but I could also bring my children. So my children are in programming as well. They know COT, they know when we go and what we do when we go there, and they have their friends there, and they have other adults that they trust and love there. And so being able to include my family and modeling that service and what community looks like has been something that distinguished COT from other things. So we know that we go and have a meal and that takes pressure off of me. We know that my kids are cared for and loved and are learning and growing and being with other people intentionally that we would not necessarily run into in daily life. And so that's something I feel like is very different about the COT community. So I feel like I have grown and learned to make myself more vulnerable as well. Put myself out there. As a facilitator, that is one of the number one things that we have to learn to do is we can't ask participants to share with us and live life with us if we're not doing exactly the same thing. Jesus modeled his ministry. He walked out his faith. And so I feel challenged to do the same thing, to provide examples from my real life, to trust the people in that room with my heart as well. So I think as I have experienced life with other people, I have felt more called to put my life on the line as well and experience the benefits of sharing with one another.
I love that you spoke about finding your place, right? Finding your people, finding your community, and then just taking that next step and being vulnerable, right? And growing together. As we wrap up every one of our episodes, I ask about a piece of advice or quote that you would give. We're going to change it a little bit for you, Amy. And just as we recruit for our Fall Awaken class, what's something you might tell a potential family or individual who's thinking about being part of COT, even if it's virtually or hopefully in person, just that invitation to come and join us? What's some words of wisdom that you might give?
I would say, come as you are. There are days that we are dragging in after a long school day or a long day at work, and I don't feel my best, and I can easily talk myself out of doing one more thing. But when I get to COT, I'm always rewarded. I'm met with joy and with people who are genuinely happy to see me and remember me and ask me how I'm doing and talk to my children and love us. And I just want to invite you to come. We need community. This has been a time during coronavirus that community has really suffered in person, but we've gotten really creative with how to connect virtually or socially distanced. So I want to encourage you to just come, bring what you think is baggage. We will help you carry it. We want to be with you on this journey, and we are all learning together. We don't have it figured out, but we want to try together as a community.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for your time today and just sharing a little bit about who you are and being vulnerable with us, and we just appreciate it so much. Everyone joining us this week, thank you again for being part of our journey as we continue to share more and more about our ministry and the people behind the aspects of what makes this ministry so great. Join us next week as we introduce one of our newest staff members to all of you as he begins his journey as part of our ministry. Have a great rest of your weekend.